Hello, my dear children. Welcome to Learner's Planet. Children, we studied in the previous session about living and non-living things. Now we will continue in this session and we will study more about living and non-living things. So children, in the previous session, we studied about how living things move, how living things grow, and how living things breathe. So children, now we are going to see some examples about plants. So children, look at the two plants given here. Children, you can see in the picture, this is a closed jar with a plant in it, and it is in the soil, and you can see in this picture that there is an open jar with the soil in it and the plant in it. So children, what we can observe here? Yes, we can observe that the plant in the open jar looks fresh and happy because it is getting fresh air to breathe. But the plant in the closed jar has used up the air inside the jar. So children, as the jar is closed, you can see that jar is closed. So because of this, there is no fresh supply of air. So this plant looks tired and unhappy. So children, we can see that a plant needs air to grow. So children, plants are living beings, or we can say that they are the living things that need air to breathe, and then only they can grow. But if the plant is kept in a closed jar, it cannot get the fresh air to breathe. So this plant will die. But this plant will grow. So the plant in the open jar looks fresh and happy. So children, we can say that living things breathe, but non-living things do not breathe. So children, now we will see that living things need food. So children, why do living things need food? Living things need food to grow. Food gives us energy to play, like this girl is playing, and food also gives us energy to work and move. So we can say that living things need food, but non-living things do not need food. So children, we can see the examples here. These are all non-living things and they do not need food. Okay children, so we can see some examples of living things. Children, animals eat plants or other animals as food. But children, plants do not need to go in search of food. Children, we discussed this in the previous session that animals need to go in search of food and shelter. So children, we can see that a cow eats grass. Same way, a dog eats a bone and we eat food. We eat different kinds of food, but plants do not need to go in search of food. Why? Because they make their own food in the presence of air, water, and sunlight. So children, always remember that a green plant makes its own food. So children, we can say that living things need food. Now children, we will see that living things feel changes. For example, in summer season, when we feel hot, we switch on the fan. But in winter season, we do not switch on the fan because we do not feel hot. So children, we can say that living things feel changes. So children, in summer season, we feel hot. Likewise, in winter season, when we feel cold, we wear woolen clothes to keep ourselves warm. So children, you can see in the picture that a girl is wearing woolen clothes. So children, we wear woolen clothes to keep ourselves warm. In the same way, animals and plants can feel the changes around them. So children, most animals feel or they sense changes around them with the help of their eyes, with which we can see the world around us, then ears, by which we can hear the sound, then nose through which we can smell, then tongue by which we can taste the yummy, delicious food, and skin through which we can feel touch. So children, human beings and animals, all of them feel or sense changes around them with the help of their sense organs. So children, always remember that eyes, ears, nose, tongue and skin are called sense organs. So children, this is an example of a boy. He has got eyes, ears, nose, tongue and skin. So these are all sense organs through which we can feel or sense the changes around us. So children, there are some animals that have special body parts which help them to feel changes around them. So children, these special body parts are called antenna. So children, we can see in the picture, we can see that these are the two antennae. A grasshopper has also two antennae. A honeybee and a mosquito, they all possess antennae, which are the special body parts by which they can feel changes around them. Okay, children? Children, like animals, human beings, plants can also feel changes around them. How they can feel changes? Yes, children? Yes, in the previous session we studied about this. You already know that the touch me not plant feels a touch, and even the lotus flower opens out at sunrise and closes at night. Yes, children? So children, plants can also feel changes around them. For example, plants can feel light and grow towards it. So you can see in the picture that the plant is moving. Plants can feel changes. Yes, children, they can also feel the light, sunlight, and they grow towards it. Okay, children? So children, we saw that living things feel changes. Now we will see, children, that living things reproduce. So children, how living things reproduce? What do you mean by reproduction? Yes, the living things produce more of their own kind. This is called reproduction. So children, this is a picture of an animal. This is a picture of a dog. Yes, children? So animals reproduce by giving birth to young ones. There are some animals which give birth to their young ones. For example, a dog is with her puppy. For example, human beings, we can see a woman with her baby. Yes, children? So there are some examples of animals which give birth to their young ones. For example, a cow gives birth to a calf. An elephant gives birth to her calf. A cat gives birth to her kitten. Okay, children? So, we can see that some animals reproduce by laying eggs or giving birth to young ones. So this is an example of a cow which gives birth to its young one, that is her calf. But a hen gives birth to the chick by laying eggs. So children, we can see in the picture. Yes, children, this is a young one. This is a chick. So a hen lays eggs and gives birth to a chick. So children, always remember that animals reproduce by either laying eggs or giving birth to young ones. Okay, children, so we can see that a woman gives birth to a baby while pigeons and hens lay eggs from which chicks come out. Okay, children? Children, there are most of the plants that reproduce with the help of seeds. So children, a seed then becomes a baby plant, and after it becomes a baby plant, these seeds grow into new plants. And then a baby plant grows larger and larger and becomes a big plant. So children, some plants can also give rise to new plants with the help of their roots, stems, or leaves. So children, we can see the example of a tomato plant. So such plants give rise to new plants with the help of their leaves, fruits, or stems. For example, there are some plants which give rise to new plants. So we saw an example of a tomato plant. Likewise, there are some other examples like a rubber plant, a money plant, and sugar cane. So children, we saw some examples and we came to know that living things reproduce, but non-living things do not reproduce. For example, a doll, chair, table, television, computer. These are all non-living things that do not reproduce. Okay, children? So children, I hope you are all clear with this chapter and learned about living and non-living things. Okay, children? So keep studying and keep observing around you that what are living things and which of them are non-living things. Thank you, children.